Good morning everybody, welcome to Cooking with Mr Medley. Today we're going to look at making some homemade burgers. Now homemade burgers are really great for a number of reasons. Number one, they taste much better than the shop bought ones. Secondly, they're really cheap to make. And finally, they're really simple as well. So you can't lose with burgers. And we're going to make some. Now these are the things that we're going to use. Okay, we're going to use some mix. We're going to use an onion which we're going to chop up really fine. And then we're going to add some flavouring to it. So I've got some tomato puree, some ketchup, a little bit of garlic, some pepper and salt, and some paprika. Now if you haven't got all these things, just add a little bit of ketchup. Yeah, that will do. Alright, so I'm joined by my son Freddie, he's going to make the burgers. So let's crack on and make. So what Freddie's going to do now is he's going to peel the skin off the onion. Right, and now using a claw technique, he's going to chop that onion up. That's nice. So you take the knife nice and straight. Okay, so now what Freddie's doing now is he's dicing up the onions really small. So he's pinching the end of the knife and he's just lifting up the handle, because you don't want big lumps of onion in your burgers. So you've got to get those onions really, really small. Okay, so now you can see that Fred has diced up his onions really small. Okay, Freddie?
Yeah.
So now we're going to put all those onions into our nice big bowl here. Good. And if you put the mince in next, you might want to just hit it with a knife. So that's it. You see, that's it. You know, you just need to. There you go. Now put all that mince into the bowl. Try not to touch it with your hands. Okay, lovely. Right, everybody. So now we've got onions and mince in our bowl. And what Freddie's going to do now is add some of those spices. Okay. Right, go. So, the good thing to do is to put a little bit in your hand, because if you put it straight into the bowl, you might put too much in. That's perfect. That's paprika.
So how many times are we doing here?
We'll just do a few. So this is garlic, so you're going to need a little teaspoon for this, Fred.
Aye.
Just a little bit, and just a little bit. Some garlic. A little tomato puree. Yeah, that'll do. And finally, just a little bit of ketchup. Just remember, you don't need to use all those things. We've got them, but if you haven't, salt and pepper and ketchup is good. Right, now he's going to get a wooden spoon and he's going to mix all this together. Okay. Okay then, so now what Freddie's going to do now, he's just going to shape the burgers in his hands. Nice and easy, and then he's going to put them onto the work surface. Lovely. Now one thing you've got to be really careful of with raw meat is that it spreads a lot of bacteria around the room if you're not careful. So as soon as Freddie's finished making his burgers, he's going to wash his hands. Okay, come back and join us in a moment. Okay, so Fred's finished his burgers and he's making sure that he washes his hands really good. Let's have a look at these finished burgers. There we go. Not bad at all. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fry one of them and the rest of them we're going to freeze, and he can have them whenever he wants them then. Frying burgers is not the healthiest way of doing it. You could put them all in the oven, but you know, we're going to fry them because they taste best when they're fried. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so Fred's going to put a little bit of oil in the pan. Now, that's really high now, so he's going to turn the heat right down to a little modest heat. Yeah? And now he's going to cook one of his burgers. So he's going to use a flipper, put that in the pan. Woo! Okay, right, you're going to leave that now then, Fred. And that will just cook, and then we'll turn it over in a little while. Okay, everybody? Okay, welcome back. Here you can see Freddie's burger. That's frying nicely. It's nearly done now. We're going to check in a moment to make sure it's cooked in the middle. And here's the ones that he made earlier, and we're going to put them into a freezer bag. And then he's going to put them in the freezer for when he wants them in future. Okay, so really he's got loads of meals there. Okay, now this looks cooked now. Now the important thing to do is to test it in the middle, because it may look cooked on the outside, but if it's still pink in the middle, then it's dangerous to eat. So what we're going to do is Freddie's going to cut this burger open, and we're going to see if it is cooked in the middle. Now if you were making all the burgers, you don't even need to cook one, because if one's cooked, then they're all cooked. So just going to do that just back in a second. Yeah. Okay, so what we've done, can you borrow your knife, Fred? Is we've just, you want to cut it all the way through because you don't want to lose your burger. There you go, look. Oh, there you go. It's all brown in the middle now. There's no pink. And you can push that back together and the burger's cooked. Yeah. Alright, Freddie. Okay, do you want to pick it up and so bring it over? Okay, well, so there you go. You put some ketchup on, you could put some cheese on. Now one thing you could do is, well, in the last minute that they are frying in the frying pan, if you put a bit of cheese on top, the cheese will melt and be really nice, and then, okay, you'd be lovely. But if you don't like cheeseburgers, just cook it to that point and put a bit of ketchup on and it's done. So well done, Fred. That's it, done.